Thanks to the EA Creator Network for providing me free codes for The Sims 4. My opinions are my own. Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another speculation video. Feels like it's been a while since I've done one of these, but bands are definitely one of my most wanted things for The Sims 4 at the moment. Recently, there has been some speculation that they could be hinting at a bands pack finally coming in the near future. So, I'm gonna go through a couple of different things and analyze them and determine whether they really could be hints or not. The first thing is an ad for EA Play. Jack of All Games tweeted a clip from this saying The Sims 4 shown at the Game Awards. Could this be a small tease as to what's to come? We have a narrator saying, how about a new career with EA Play, as someone turns on The Sims 4 and then becomes a guitarist in real life while a plumb bob spins over their head. I don't see this as a hint. I swear I saw this somewhere a day or two before the Game Awards, because I didn't even watch the Game Awards. I think it was a YouTube ad, and then they just happened to show the same thing at the Game Awards. I didn't think anything of it because my interpretation is that with The Sims, a real drawing factor of it is that you can be who you want to be. So you may just be some office worker in real life, but hey, in The Sims, I could be a rock star. And well, there technically is a musician career already in the base game. And also, a dream that many people have at some point is to be a rock star, just because of how like glamorous the whole rock star life is. Perhaps if we had a whole band showing here, complete with drums and bass and a vocalist, I think then we would be onto something. But I think this is one of those cases where it's just not really that deep. It's an ad and that's really it. It's not some sneaky hint at future content. Though it would be nice if we at the very least got electric guitars, because even though there's a couple in the game like the Grimm's Ghoulish guitar and the one in Werewolves that kind of look like they should be electric guitars when you actually play them, they're still acoustic ones. So yeah, it's just so weird. It's like one of those things that's just so weird that we don't have in the game still after over 10 years. However, there is something that I find a lot more suspicious, and there are actually a couple of things related to the Specter family included with the Life and Death expansion. So Sims Time tweeted, here are the items found in the Specter family's inventory. Additionally, in the family's description, it is mentioned that Lane Coffin has a band. So taking a closer look at their family inventory, yeah, there are some music related objects, and all of the objects in the family inventory are ones that you get by progressing through the entertainer career and then choosing the music branch. This does track with the fact that when you start a new save, Lane is at level 10 of the musician branch of the entertainer career. Taking a look at the household bio, it does say that Olive's prior husbands all met unfortunate ends, which makes things rather awkward now that she's engaged to Lane Coffin, the founding and sole member of the band Withering Wittershins. So it's like, okay, that's a little odd. I mean, yeah, he is a musician. That is something you can do in the game right now. But why make mention of this being like a band, a one-man band? It could be something that I feel that they could be doing a sneaky hint that we could be getting full-on bands in the future, so maybe Lane wouldn't have to be a solo act. I also find it very strange that these reward objects were not used to decorate the homes. They're just shoved into the family inventory, out of the way. So was this intentionally something for us to find? Or is it a side effect of them having EA network creators who are not EA employees, the people that are outside of the EA workspace, but then when it came to having the Sims, they don't have these EA creators making the Sims. It's just the houses. So it could be because of that as well. But that is, it's just something quite strange to me. Like, it could be a hint. it still could be another thing where it's just not that deep. But I think this is a stronger potential hint at a band's expansion being one of the next ones. I suppose, if anything, all this community speculation does prove that there is still a lot of interest to have bands in the game, and EA could see that potential interest and possible revenue and make this into reality, regardless of whether these two things ended up being a hint or not in the end. I think a major reason we even got Cottage Living is because just before Eco Lifestyle came out, there was this fake Target leak that we were going to get a Country Living expansion pack that heavily implied farming, but then that's not what happened at all. We got Eco Lifestyle, and there was so much backlash from people being mad that it was not farming. And then what happens a year later? We get Cottage Living. So I think EA saw all that backlash and were like, okay, yeah, we gotta get going on this. So Cottage Living could have also been damage control for Eco Lifestyle, and definitely turned out to be one of the best expansions, at least in my opinion. So at least I think a lot of discussion about the idea could help something happen. I mean, for example, compared to the fact that with recent worlds, some of them have trains going in the background, like Chestnut Ridge and Ravenwood and Ciudad Enamorada, but you don't see anyone saying, oh my gosh, these are hints that we're going to get a railroad management pack, because the interest just is not there for that sort of thing, at least from what I've seen. I like trains, but even for me, that's not something that would be very high on my wish list at all. I mean, there's plenty of things I would want before that, so while it potentially could be a, like, sort of fresh idea for The Sims, yeah, I still don't see that happening anytime soon, if ever. So with bands, we have had them before, once, in The Sims 3. It was kind of odd how they did this, though, because we had both bands and singers, but not together. In the late night expansion pack, we got bands, and then with Showtime, that's when we got singers, but that was a solo act career. There was no integration whatsoever with the bands that we had in late night, so that was a huge missed opportunity. So the bands in The Sims 3 were purely instrumental. So yeah, it's like we had all these different features in late night, not just bands. So if we get a whole expansion pack dedicated to bands, they better go more in depth with them so that we actually could have singers this time. Though one potential obstacle is that we already have a singing skill with City Living, but that's focused on karaoke singing. The only other thing is like, okay, when you do have a high enough skill with some of the instruments like the guitar and the piano, you can sing and play the instrument at the same time, which is a really neat thing. I'm not sure if many people know that, but it's just not the same as like being in a band. So maybe that is like a skill that they could cross integrate with a band's expansion. I'd also love for the ability for my bands to get into the recording booth and make an album, so they could make money that way too, not just from live performances. And it'd also be really cool if we could make band merch, so you could sell things like shirts and posters, and to get even more ambitious, have the ability to do photo shoots with your band, so you could use those pictures for merch or even your album cover. So it's not, say, just a generic half a dozen or so swatches that you're picking from every time. That there's something a lot more personal to each of your bands. And one other thing I just thought of is, what if as a side feature, they introduce a Guitar Hero or Rock Band type of game that your Sims could play on a video game console? I mean, now those are base game compatible, since we have that one with the Cozy Celebrations event that you can now unlock. So that would be a neat way of having some other like side attraction besides the bands themselves, but it still ties into the music. I think there is a lot of potential in a dedicated bands pack, and regardless of what's a hint or not, I feel there is a decent chance that we could get a Bands expansion pack in the future, but feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think these things are hints? Do you think we could get a Bands pack in the future, whether it be in 2025 or beyond that? And be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.